Hey guys, Luke here, and I'm here to preview round 26, Sunday afternoon football. We're going to get straight into it, but there's 3 games, I've got to mention that. So let's go into the first one, which is a dead rubber. It's a Newcastle Knights against St George Illawarra Dragons. Couldn't even pronounce the word just then. Let's go into the lineup. We have Kurt Gidley, Sione Matiatia, Gagai, Leilua, Chanel Matiatia, or Matatia, I should say. Then we've got Mullen, Roberts, Farlongo, Clydesdale, Mason, Scott, Rockow, and Cuthbertson. And on the bench is Waddell, Corbin Sims, Houston, and Tahu. Dragons lineup is Beale, Brett Morris, Dugan, Matatia, or like Peter Matatia, or I think he goes under Matatia. I'm not sure though. Then we got Nightingale, Widdop, Marshall, Cooper, Kyle Stanley, Frizzell, DeBellin, John Thompson, and Trent Merrin. The bench is Pameepi, Matthews, Harrison, and Armour. So we should mention that, like I said before, it's a dead rubber. Both these teams can't make the 8, and his performance like this match will have no bearing on the 8. So they might be lacking a little bit of motivation. But if I had to make a prediction, I think on paper Dragons should win, but I have a feeling that Knights will just get up for this. I can't really explain why. Well, I can. And I think it's just the Knights have had such an emotional year, obviously with the Alex McKinnon thing, and being a home game, and Dragons like losing how they did last week, like being behind by so much and then having a big comeback and still losing. It's just got to kill you. And I think it'll be very hard for them to get up for this game, because last week it killed their chance at making the top 8, and you know it's really hard to get up for it after getting so close but yet so far. The Knights, on the other hand, really good performance against the Eels. They had the win against them in the first half, so then they were behind in the first half, but still it felt like they were in front just because of the wind, and it sure paid off. Them being pretty much, I think they were behind 12-8 or something like that, so they weren't behind by much at half time, and you know they romped home like, would it end up like 42-8 or something like that. Just really strong performance. Both the Matatia brothers, really good. Another one who I thought was good was Bo Scott, and obviously Leilua was just incredible last week. You look at the bench. The bench is where I think the Knights will win it. Waddell's, I don't really rate Waddell too much, but Sims is okay. Houston, Tahu. I thought Tahu, I think he really fits second row. I'm not a big fan of Tahu. I really don't like Tahu, but he impressed me last week. He's got a decent step, he's pretty strong. Be interesting to see how he goes in the second round this game. Houston's another good player. Not really a favourite at the Knights anymore, but he used to be in the team all the time. But I think he's pretty good. Up against Pameepi, Will Matthews, Harrison, and Armour. Armour, I really think he's a good player. Harrison, just, I don't know what happened to him over the last few years, but he's a shadow of the player. Will Matthews, I don't really know much about him, but it doesn't, like, he doesn't ring a bell to me, so I don't he couldn't be that good if I haven't really heard too much about him. And for me, I know who he is. He's a former Bulldog, and I don't remember him being that good. And in the games I've seen him play, he hasn't been that impressive. A big loss for the Dragons is Mitch Rain. So we've got Kyle Stanley at the number 9, and I don't recall him ever really playing hooker, so interesting to see how he goes. But it's kind of funny, got the 3 brothers, 2 of them at the Knights, 1 of them at the Dragons. They're kind of up against each other, so that's something to look out for. But yeah, like I said, I think we'll go with a Knights victory there, 1-12. Actually, we'll go 13+. I think it'll be whoever wins will run away with it. Then we got the second game here. It's the Gold Coast Titans up against Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. It's at Seabus Super Stadium in the Gold Coast, so we'll go with the lineup here. We have Zillman, Far Lower, Roberts, Takarangi, Don, Sezar, Mortimer, Bailey, Falloon, White, Minicello, Taylor, and Carter. On the bench we have Ione, Kingston, Michaels, Mead, and Blair. Bulldogs lineup, we have Sam Perrott, Thompson, Morris, Lafai, Brown, Reynolds, Hodkinson, Tolman, Ennis, Graham, Jackson, Williams, and Eastwood. And the bench is Matua, Clemmer, O'Hanlon, Umbai, and 19th man Alatoa. Now I think obviously as a Bulldogs fan there's going to be some bias here, so I'll get that straight up. Yeah, but I think a lot of people say, apart from Titans fans maybe, but I think the Bulldogs will win this comfortably, 13+. I mean, but to be fair, every time I seem to say Bulldogs going to win comfortably, they end up getting flogged like 40-0. We go back to the Tigers and we go back to the Broncos. Well, Tigers first time. But we look at the Bulldogs side, we have Reynolds coming back in. I think he's a big plus for the side. As good, I think Moses Umbai has done a very good job at 5'8". I think he's actually been a plus to the side, to be honest. he straightened them up a lot, which is what they needed. But Reynolds just being there just takes a lot of the pressure off Hodkinson. Reynolds is New South Wales origin player. He didn't get there for no reason. He's a good 5'8". As much as people want to say he's bad and he kicked the chair and all that sort of stuff, he's a good player when he's on. And hopefully for the Bulldogs he comes in and he's switched on straight away. He's had a few weeks to think about it, so he should be switched on. So Umbai drops to the bench. I'm not sure where he's going to play, but it could be the extra spark that the Bulldogs need. He's not like a barber who can come off the bench and just step his way through the side and all that, but he can add another dimension to the side. But David Clemmer, I think he's a big key to the bench, and he's going to have to come on and smash the forward. The Titans, like starting forwards, I think are capable of, like dishing it, like matching it with the Bulldogs for a little bit. But I think once they go off and the bench like players come on, like they have Steve Michaels, David Mead and Maurice Blair on the bench. Obviously one of them's going to drop off, but just not good enough really. I don't understand why you put David Mead on the bench. I guess Takarangi's going to move to the forwards, but I just don't get those selections. It's very strange. And they're Ione and Kingston. They're not exactly world beaters as of yet. Not to say that they never will be, but right now, not world beaters. Greg Bird's out this game. I don't really understand why he's suspended. I saw the tackle and I thought it was a great tackle. When it happened, I was clapping and saying, "Good work, Bird. Good tackle." But obviously, judiciary says otherwise, and he's out for a week. And Dave Taylor's back in for them, so they lost Bird but gained Taylor. But Taylor's hot and cold, and he's in the second row, so I don't see him having a big impact playing in the second row. So I'm going to go with the Bulldogs win 13 plus, and cementing their spot in the 8. Then we go to the last game of the regular season for 2014, and it's the Penrith Panthers up against New Zealand Warriors. And this is a pretty important game too. Well, actually, it could be. It could not be, I should say. So Panthers, they can't win the minor premiership, but they can secure a spot in the top 4 with a win here. If they haven't secured it already, I'm not sure. And Warriors, they're playing for a spot in top 8. It could already be gone, depending on results, as the last one. So, If a top 8 spot is on the line, we'll see there's 2 different sides, but we'll go through the team lineups. We have Moylan, Mansour, Vare, Idris, Watkins, Lesniak, Will Smith, Jamie Soward, Plum, Segeyaro, McKendry, Brown, Robinson and Manu, and the bench is Mosley, Murdoch, Masilla, Anderson and Grant. The Warriors side is Tomkins, Lamape, Hurrell, Peiru, Vadavai, Leilua, Lulawai I should say. Then we've got Johnson, Lilliman, Friend, Marcelino, Ben Henry, Mainering and Sione Lassie. And the bench is Rapira, Matagi, Ikahivo, Bakuya and Felina Mateo is 20th man. Now I was saying with the Warriors, you get 2 different sides. I'll explain it a little bit further. So if they're playing for the 8, I expect to see a really motivated side, like trying to destroy Panthers and get into 8 obviously. And if like Bulldogs win and Storm win and like all the results go against them, I see Warriors just coming out getting flogged by Panthers. Not that even if Warriors are playing in the 8, they have a tendency to play shit. I mean, you got to look at last year against the Dragons. They had everything to play for and they got flogged by the Dragons last round. So the Warriors are hard to judge, and especially being away from home, it's going to be tough for them. And Panthers are going to want to bounce back from last week. After the game they had, they played so well for about 60 minutes, and then it all came crashing down right at the end, like the last minute. They lost the game, so they're going to be hurting from that. Segeyaro is a big plus for them. He's probably the most important player on their side at the moment, I would say. I mean, you could say Soward, Moylan or them, but I think Segeyaro is what makes them side. Although Mosley did a really good job last week, and he is a similar player to Segeyaro, so him coming off the bench possibly is a good move for them. I keep thinking that someone else is coming in the side, but I don't think they are. So yeah, if I had to make a prediction, I would say Penrith Panthers 13 plus, because I think Warriors will implode. I think all the results will go against Warriors, and they'll be at the point where they're sort of saying, stuff it, we haven't got anything to play for, why bother? And Panthers come out and smash them. So if you disagree with any of my predictions, or if you just want to leave your predictions overall, leave them in the comments. I would like to check them out, and I'd love to comment back and have a chat about them. And leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for the other games and all my other videos. See you guys, bye.